Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have another tutorial for you on the very hotly requested mood version of the Tip the Scales nails. This tutorial is very similar to my last tutorial, but there are a few extra steps involved in this one, and I wanted to do the tutorial properly to make sure that I showed you guys where to do those steps, where to add them in, and to make sure they're done in the right order. So the first step is the same as last time. We're going to do 2 coats of black gel polish. Now the special ingredient that you need for the colour changing aspect of these nails is called liquid crystal, and it's from Solar Color Dust. Now I got the 12 colour version, though I believe there is a 6 colour version as well. Though why you would want 6 colours when you can have 12, I do not know, but that is up to you guys. Now this product is an actual paint, not a gel or a gel polish or anything like that, so it will air dry. I do find that I like the way it sits a bit better on a matte surface, or at least not a tacky surface, so I like to remove the sticky layer of the black gel polish before I apply it. At this point I use a medium to large size dotting tool depending on what kind of effect you want, and then I switch to a smaller dotting tool for these smaller dots that you're seeing now. Now my tips at this point would be to not apply it too thinly. The really amazing colour change that you get, I feel, is a bit better if you've got a little bit more product on there. I would also recommend wiping off your dotting tool every now and then so it's air drying while you're painting, so your dotting tool will get larger and larger as you do it. And I'd also recommend not placing the dots too close together. As you can see, I'm still putting them pretty close, but we are going to put another gel over the top of them at a later stage. And you might find that while these dry, if they do spread apart at all, you might have a bit of trouble getting that definition with the gel that we put on the top later. So just keep that in mind while you're doing this stage. Once all your dots are done, you just need to leave it to air dry. As it dries, you'll notice that the dots will start to go clear, or they might even start showing some of the mood changing colours depending on the temperature in your room. At this point you can see they're nearly all dry, and this is when it's completely dry. I love that this product is just so sensitive, so that colour change you can see there is me just breathing on it. Now as this is just a normal paint, we want to encapsulate it to make sure that it stays put, so I'm using my favourite product, Elastic from Planet Nails, to do that. Now the reason that I do this in this order is that I feel that if we were to make the nail matte first, then paint the liquid crystal and then put the top coat dots directly over the top of that, I don't think they would stay on properly. I've tried this technique before with other products, things like foils and things like that, and I found that the top coat is sticking more to the foil, and in this case it might stick more to the paint rather than actually adhering to the matte top coat underneath it, and I found they're really easy to actually just flick off. Whereas if you do it in the order that I'm showing you, they'll stay on really securely. After curing, I prefer to remove the sticky layer from the Elastic. I find with this particular matte top coat that I use, if I don't remove the sticky layer, it can actually interfere with the finish, so I personally choose to do that first. After you've wiped the Elastic, it will actually leave you with a shiny surface, so generally the rule is that gels don't like to stick to a shiny surface, so if that makes you uncomfortable you can always give it a buff first, but with these 2 particular products I haven't personally found any issues with it. And I haven't mentioned yet that the matte top coat that I'm using is from Gel Girl, and it's called Rubber Matte Top Coat. Once you've applied that, you're going to cure it. It's not necessary to, but I like to give it a wipe with alcohol after I've cured it. I just find it gives it a bit of a nicer finish. My preferred product for doing the raised dots is the clear rubber top coat from the gel bottle. It's quite thick like a builder gel, but it has a really shiny finish. This is essentially the same method again that we did with the paint. Choose whatever size dotting tools you like. I'm using that medium to large sized one again. Then I'll move to a smaller sized one for the smaller dots. Now you want to make sure that you cover as much of the liquid crystal as you can, preferably not going past it though, because you will notice the shiny black around the outside of the liquid crystal. So try to keep it within the borders of it. I find it's more important probably for the larger ones down the center. The smaller dots, if you put a smaller dot of builder gel or the top coat in the center of them, you won't notice too much if it's not covering that entire dot. I like my dots quite raised, so once I've placed an initial small amount of gel to show where I want the gel to go over those liquid crystal dots, I then add a little bit more on top just to give them a really raised effect. It's a good idea to flash cure quite regularly, especially after those initial larger dots down the center. That way if you make any mistakes or any dots merge together or anything happens, you can wipe away the mistake and you won't ruin all the work you've done so far. Hopefully you can see that I'm not actually stressing too much about how much gel I put on those dots. Really, I'm just trying to make sure that I get them all. This can get a bit tedious doing all of those dots, but it really is worth it in the end. Once all your dots are done and you've done a final full cure, I like to give it a once over just to see if there's anything that I've missed. Once you've done that final check, you are done. As I said before, this stuff is super sensitive and so much fun to play with. Thanks again so much for watching, guys. I would love it if you could like and subscribe. You're welcome to leave me a comment if you have any further questions. I know that a lot of you guys were really asking me for a tutorial on this one, so I hope that it has explained everything and you found it helpful, and I cannot wait to see what you guys come up with.